Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing the SoundBlaster AE-7, but, SoundBlaster. And I know I said I wouldn't be getting another SoundBlaster product, however, I noticed when I got my Topping DX3 Pro Plus that I needed a SoundBlaster product again, because the software, while it is confusing for newcomers and it does have some issues like firmware updates, it is still pretty good because of the features that it has. First of all, the crystallizer is really helpful, especially for watching like YouTube videos, which I watch a lot of on my PC. This crystallizer setting does help a lot, just kind of make it way more clear and have a lot more clarity in the audio, especially again with compressed audio like YouTube. It clears it up by quite a large margin. And the equalizer actually does help a lot, and I figured out, and yes, I did notice I got a lot of negative feedback for a reason, because the reason why there was so much bass wasn't because of the SoundBlaster G6, it was because of, my headphones. My HD58Xs, I thought it would be a lot less bassy, because on the graph, if you look at it, it wasn't super bassy. But now that I look at it, and now that I actually, have a way better DAC, yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it's just a bassy headphone, and I will be probably planning on getting a new headphone. Sadly, I can't return this because it's past the window date, but it's still good. It's still a good headphone. I'll make a review on it soon, because yeah, there's less bass once I turn down the equalizer. It has a lot less bass, which is really good. I'm not a bass hater, but I just really hate when like bass overpowers everything, and I'm glad to say that with the AE-7, the bass doesn't overpower everything like I felt with the SoundBlaster G6. It improves the bass by a decent margin, not a whole lot, but it does make it a little bit clearer. It makes it a lot less muddy, even with my pretty bassy, again, 58Xs. They are pretty bassy, but even when I turn down the equalizer, it's not super muddy and like overpowering like I kind of felt on the G6. Because that's probably because it has a better DAC, because it has a Sabre DAC chip. It's not top of the line, but the Sabre DAC chips are pretty good. I mean, they're pretty well known for being pretty good. Again, it's not the top of the line, and it's not the top Sabre DAC chip either, but it's still a pretty good DAC chip. And also, it has a lot of just better settings overall. It has better stuff. It also does not pop, which I'm glad to say. And the issue that I have with Minecraft, again, I didn't do research before making the video, which is a really dumb mistake of mine. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, the issue where it kind of repeats the audio, like when I open a chest, that's something Minecraft does. That's not anything with the SoundBlaster. That's literally just Minecraft doing it. I just never noticed it. And again, I didn't test it on anything else. I should have tested on my motherboard audio before commenting on that, but yeah, it was really dumb of me. I wish there was a way I could turn that off in Minecraft. I don't know if there is, but it's kind of annoying. But whatever, that's not an issue with SoundBlaster, so I don't care. And a lot of people have been having issues with the firmware for this, the AE-7, and I'm glad to say that it doesn't have any problems. I mean, I am on Windows 10, which might be why it's not having any problems, because a lot of people have problems on Windows 11, I've heard, but on Windows 10, it's pretty good. It's fine. And also, a lot of people have had problems with the BIOS for their motherboard, X570 motherboards, and again, I'm glad to say that that has gotten fixed. There's no, like, audio switching channels, from what I've heard from the past. There's nothing like that on my ASRock X570 board. And it's not like a super old board either, and I didn't update the BIOS or anything, so yeah, it isn't switching audio or anything like that, so I'm glad about that. I don't use scout mode. I never use this, never found a use for it. It just kind of doesn't really do anything. It doesn't help me at all. And, yeah, that's basically it. It's just a lot of a better version of the well, not a lot, but it is a better version of the G6. It's just a little bit harder to install, and the installation process, for those of you who are wondering, it wasn't that bad. I just had some trouble removing the back plate, because, my PC case isn't exactly that good. But removing the back plate and installing a new screw, because there wasn't any screws for the back plate, that was definitely the hardest part. Just putting the thing, the audio card into the PCI slot, the PCIe slot. That was super easy, but it was just finding enough room for it to fit, and then like getting a screw, as I said, and just getting it into the back of the PC. That was the hardest part, but rather than that, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, here's the playback settings. So as you're wondering, if you go into settings, this is really, really useful where people have like very high impedance headphones, and these can handle 600 ohm headphones, which I find surprising. And my old G6 could even. But yeah, these can as well. And again, with a better DAC chip and just better overall amplifier, better, you know. It's kind of like a DAC amp, but it's kind of not at the same time, because, you know, this is kind of like the DAC amp, if you could say it like that, but it's not, because, you know, I mean, it's just a line out input into this, and then you just get it your headphones and then plug it into that. So it's not a DAC amp, but it kind of is, because, I mean, it's not an external. What am I saying? It is a DAC amp, but it's not an external DAC amp. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not an external, so don't like confuse that, because there's an audio module that just connects to the back. You still have to install it, which again isn't that hard, so you know, this is still pretty good. And if you guys are wondering about the volume control knob, I don't really care about these ever. A lot of people do for some reason. I don't, but it's pretty good. It feels pretty, it's not like clicky like when I got the Topping DX3 Pro Plus and I returned it, because again, I realized that the software is actually pretty decent for SoundBlaster and actually helps a lot with compressed audio and stuff like that. And before you say, no, I'm not monetized or sponsored, there are going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, he's biased towards SoundBlaster. No, I'm not. Although I do know one thing, that I think SoundBlaster has been doing this for a while, producing sound cards and DAC amps for a very, very long time. I'm pretty sure since like the early 2000s or the like 1990s. So yeah, they've been doing this for a while. So they do have a lot of experience. But yeah, that's basically it. There's really not a whole lot besides this. There's also like surround and like 7.1 surround sound if you really need it. Oh, it's not here. Oh, it's in the speakers. Yeah, it's in the speakers category. I'm stupid. But you can also just turn it on here. You can also just turn on surround. You can add more bass if you need it. Again, I don't like bass that much. Again, I said that these are way too bassy for me, because they really are. And Dialogue Plus, really the only things I would use is Crystallizer and surround sound. Maybe I don't feel need to use surround sound even with my very, very, very bad soundstage headphones, because I'm just joking. They're not super bad, but they're not great at soundstage in general, and the imaging is just it's just alright. Although I don't feel like they're open backs to me, but again, I'll be making a review on these later. But yeah, that's it, and I'll see you guys later.